All right, so today's topic is enrollments. And so I want to talk about the process of enrollment and what it means in the big picture of things, how to approach it with people. I want to hear your questions, your comments, how you approach it, what you do that works for you. And I'm going to be giving you what works for me. And we all have our own unique way of approaching this. So enrollment is the very beginning really of or it's part of the beginning of the process. It's not the end of the process. So it's not, I got them enrolled and now on to the next one. The enrollment is the beginning of, it's like inviting somebody into your home or into your family. And then once they're there, you want to, build relationships and build trust, and you want to look after them, because when they become an ambassador to them, we already know all of these different things, but to somebody who's brand new, they really don't know anything. So we're going to talk a bit about the flow of what to do leading into an enrollment, and then what to do after the enrollment, and a little bit about the enrollment itself. So there are different terminologies that people use. We hear the term, that we are Plexus ambassadors. When you actually enroll somebody, they are called an associate. So an ambassador is something that happens somewhere between associate and I don't know what, but somewhere they start as an associate, and then they become an ambassador, then they become a senior ambassador, and all that happens before silver. None of those names have any kind of a rank advancement bonus or anything attached to it. But because some people have a lot of resistance to becoming an ambassador or a member of something, you can certainly use the terminology of them being a wholesale associate. So a wholesale associate to me is different than an ambassador. When somebody becomes an ambassador, they're really becoming part of the community. They want to be involved in the community. They want to learn about it. They may want to enroll people. They may want to share the opportunity or the products with others. When somebody becomes an associate, that's somebody who may have chosen the wholesale path only. That's all they want. So I always give people, and we did this, Donna watched this process in a three-way chat with Kathy, that when people, especially when they ask about the price, this is something that may come up. Lucy, this may come up for you. So you're chatting with people, you've done your pink post, or you're talking to somebody, and it's just a habit for people to ask the price. It's a habit. And it may not even mean anything, but for us, it can sometimes create this, they're going to ask me about the price, and oh my God, and the price of a bag of pink drink or whatever. So what I do is I just simply tell them there's 3 different price points. And I'm going to send you the price list so that you can look at the comparison of the 3 price points. There's retail, there's preferred customer, which is 15% less than retail. With a preferred customer, you need to have a monthly order set up. It can be just for one product. You can control what product it is, and you can control what date it goes out, and it's 15% less than retail. The third option is that you can be a wholesale associate, and that's like Costco, where you take out your membership and you can get your products wholesale for 1 year, and the membership is $9.95 right now instead of $54 or $39 US. Okay, so that's kind of the lead up to it. And then I send them the price list, US or Canadian, and the catalog, US or Canadian. And by doing that, they get to now look at all different products that they can get wholesale. So it helps to create a vision beyond just triplex. It gives them something to look through. So I'm just going to first of all show you this. Okay, so I'm going to log into my back office here. Oops, my computer's being very slow today. So I'm just going to show you where to get the price list and the catalog again. Those of you that were on Stella's training, you saw this. So you go into your virtual office. Mine is right now on the Canadian flag. If you were talking to somebody in the US and you're talking about enrolling and they're asking you about the price, or you want to show them the benefits of wholesale versus preferred customer versus retail, then
Nick,
just make sure.
Nick,
Yeah.
you're not on screen share yet.
Oh, thank you so much.
Remaining.
Thank you. Sorry, you guys. There we go. Okay, so I have logged into my account here. So you just want to make sure your flag is on whatever country you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody in Mexico, then you're going to have your flag set to Mexico. Okay, and then I'm going to go into my back office. Can I share something with you guys that only Fraser has seen, and maybe Stella? This is my personal celebration here. Can you cover your eyes? No, I'm kidding. Oh my goodness, look at how slow this is. This is incredibly unusual. There we go. This was my big celebration yesterday. These are my leaders' retreat points.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very excited because my goal was to get to 1,800 to get the branded Plexus luggage, but I got there. So that was my personal celebration yesterday.
Nice.
Okay, so all right, so to get the price list, it was part of Jacqueline's training this morning. Go to the training center, go to the resource library. Now there may be another way to get there. This is how I go, and it's the same in every country. Okay, so it's under the category of recruit and onboard. And then here you'll find the price list. So I send them the price list and I'm telling them about the, you know, if you choose the ambassador option. So the way I'm approaching it right now is I tell people, typically somebody brand new like you that, you know, is just wanting to see how the pink drink works for you for 60 days and you're going to commit to 60 days. Often the preferred customer route was more common prior to COVID, but because of COVID, the owner of the company decided to lower the ambassador price to $9.95. So it just makes more sense to consider the wholesale option because you're only paying $9.95. Normally, if you're paying $54 or $39 in the States, then, you know, you're doing the math and you're figuring out which is going to work out better. But right now, the $9.95 option kind of makes the wholesale approach sort of a no-brainer. So here is the product price list. And all you have to do to send it to them is you just copy the URL at the top and you paste it into Messenger or email or whatever you want to do to send it to them. So what I did with Kathy yesterday is I sent it in the message that her and Donna and I were in, and I said, when you open it, let me know when you've opened it, and then I'll walk you through it. So then when she had it and she opened it up, then I walked her through and I explained the welcome packs and that, you know, this option only occurs if you decide to get your wholesale membership for a year for $9.95. Then you will have the option to get one of these welcome packs, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you guys know what would be said there. I mentioned that there were 2 different price points, that this is a selection of products that allows you to get on several products at less than wholesale cost, and it's a one-time only option, and it's only available to you with your enrollment, your first order. So this is a nice option if you decide to become a wholesale member because you will get your products lower than wholesale for the very first order only. Okay, then after that, in your second month, you have the option of getting combinations of products, which help save you a little bit of money. And there's 3 categories: retail, preferred, And the ambassador is what we're calling the associate or wholesale pricing. Here it's called an ambassador, and I'll explain that later. I don't get into the PV, and typically people don't ask. I just go to the price. So I give them an example. For example, let's look at the triplex, which is the one that you were considering. Here is what the price would be retail, $200.37. And here is the preferred price is $181.66. With this one, you do have to have a monthly subscription set up. And here is the ambassador price is $160.28. With this option, you can have a monthly order set up if you want to ship to you every month. However, you don't have to. Okay, and then down below here are all the individual prices and products. I'm going to send you the catalog. I'm going to send you the catalog. And that way, when you go through the catalog, you'll see that there's no prices. And often people wonder about why aren't there prices in the catalog? And the reason is because there are 3 different price points. And so instead, you just have your catalog, you have your price list, and then you can look up the prices of the products. So based on having seen these 3 options, is there one that you feel would be best for you? Okay, so I let them pick. Now that I've given them the 3 options, let them pick. Do they want retail preferred? And they'll ask whatever questions they have about whatever. But typically, you guys, when people see the difference in prices, they, you know, I mean, it's really self-evident to some people. So the resistance that comes up is, well, if I become a member, I don't want to be in anything. I don't want to be getting into something. I don't want to sign up to something. I don't want to be getting product every month. It's all, we went from, with Kathy, Donna and I went from, I do not want to be an ambassador to, by the end of it, it was, well, I'd like to be an ambassador and I'd like to get on what Donna was on, you know, and we made that movement because that initial, I don't want to, is resistance that they have typically from past experience. And I've talked about this on the subscription one that we did. So if you address all of those things in your conversation with them before they even bring it up, you address those things. And so you let them know. And when you're a wholesale member, you don't have to do anything. So Kathy's question yesterday was, I don't want to do a business. I don't want to have a business. And so I said, did I not say this to her, Donna? I said, then you need to keep your mouth shut. That's exactly what I said to her. Then you need to keep your mouth shut, because when you get on these products and you start noticing a benefit, if you tell somebody, they're going to want to know about it and they're going to ask you about it. So if they ask you about it, then you know, now you're in the position of, uh-oh, now what am I going to do? Now they want the products. Well, you're going to call one of us. And if they want to get started and they want wholesale pricing as well, now you have somebody who wants to enroll, and that is quote unquote considered a business, even though it's not what you want. You may not want a business, but if you talk to people about the product and they want to get started on the product, then the chances are you're going to end up with somebody who's going to want to enroll. So you can call it a business or not. You don't have to call it a business. You can call it sharing it with your friends. You can call it whatever you want. But the fact is, you need to keep your mouth shut and not say anything. Now, when I say to somebody, you need to keep your mouth shut and not say anything, that immediately releases out of them that whole thing about, am I going to have to sell? I'm telling them in advance, don't tell anybody about this. And if you do not want to make any money because you're on whatever and you don't want to make any money, then do not talk to people about this. What you're going to do is you're going to take the products, you're going to enjoy them, and you're going to get the benefits of it. But I'm letting you know that, yes, if you talk to people about it, they may want to get on the product and you may end up making some money. And if you enroll as a wholesale member, you can become what's called an ambassador, meaning that it's included in there and you can do all those things and it's already all set up in your account. So your account can be strictly wholesale, or it can, if somebody does want to get the product from you, or they want to enroll and get their own membership, or whatever happens, it's already built into that first account that we set up. And that's why when we do set up that account for you, you'll see that it's very comprehensive. They're going to be asking you things like, what's your social insurance number? They're going to want your birth date. It's because we're putting into place the potential for you to do any of those things, but you don't have to do any of that. So what I've done is I've addressed all of it up front. Now they already know that when we go through that process with them on Zoom screen sharing or on the phone and walking them through the enrollment process, there's no surprise, because we've already mentioned you can have a monthly order. We've already mentioned they're going to want to know your social insurance number and your birth date and, you know, this information. So we've already talked about that before we start the enrollment process. So this morning when we did the enrollment process with Kathy, it was just it's just done. We just go through it and get it done because we've already discussed all of that in advance. So any questions or comments about that?
That was so good. That's going to help me a lot to send them the stuff, because I spend so much time explaining. So that's good. I wanted to know if where to get the, what did you say, the catalog?
Yes. Okay.
Is it in the same area?
No.
Yeah, it's in the it's in your back office. And
Sharing Plexus under sharing Plexus.
yeah, it's under. So when you open up your virtual back office.
Share your screen, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to your back office here, so right now we're in the price list. So if I go back to my back office, I can't see it because I think it's this tab. Here we go. Okay, so now you're back in your back office. Go back to your dashboard. Well, actually, there's two ways. Let me do it the way Stella showed in the training so that it's consistent here. Sorry. Go to my business, Stella? No,
sharing Plexus.
right here. Sorry. Yes. Go here. Sharing Plexus and latest and greatest. And this is the same in US as well. So you go sharing Plexus, latest and greatest. And here it is right here. And you can actually change the flag to any country you want. I went through them all last night. I looked at the Mexico one. I looked at Australia. Australia doesn't have a catalog because all they have is triplex. So they just have a triplex video. But for ours, it's right here. And you just scroll down and just click on it. People love looking through the catalog. Okay, so once you click on it, there's two choices here, download or interactive catalog. I click on the interactive catalog and that gives me the link here. So here's your catalog where you can flip the pages and you can see all the products. The US one has all their products in it. And then you just grab this link at the top again, you just copy it and then you paste it into a messenger or email or however you want to send it to the person. So if you send them the catalog and the price list and they see the 3 different price points, it really helps. Okay, so now, any other questions before I move on to the enrollment? Okay, so the work you do before the enrollment really makes the rest of the process much easier. I also let them know when we're doing the before even enrolling, I let them know things like, you know, once you receive your products, I'm going to send you a video of how to get started on the product. So they're already kind of feeling the support that they're going to get before they even get started. Okay, so then the next thing is we take them to the enrollment. So you guys know this. I don't, well, Jan is new and Dawn is new, so I will mention this. Let me screen share again. There's 2 ways you can go into the enrollment process. Okay. All right, so I'm going to close this. This is so frustrating because cannot get at the tabs at the, let me just shrink my page, see if that works. Ha, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. I want to close all of this. Okay. So you can enroll people by going to your own website, through your own website, which is mysite.plexus. worldwide. This is the only feature of Zoom I don't like. There's Laura's because we were in there yesterday. Okay, so my site.plexusworldwide.ca/Monique McDonald. This is one of the steps in the enrollment process. When we did Kathy this morning, we put in Kathy Nelson, it was taken. We put in C Nelson, it was taken. We put in Kathy Nelson 777, it was taken. So depending on how common the name is, you have to get creative. In the end, we ended up using numbers from her email address, and finally, we were able to find a Kathy Nelson that was available. So there are a lot of Kathy Nelson Plexus ambassadors, apparently. Okay, so you can go in through using your own site. So yours would be my site.plexusworldwide.ca/Brenda Lindenbach, or whoever it is. All right. So now the enroll button is on. If you do this, now see what happened here, how mine automatically populates to my account and it says virtual office. If that happens, you've got to sign out of your virtual office. Mine saves it saves me even if I sign out, it still saves me. Okay, so you want to be able to see this enroll as an ambassador button. That's what you want to see. The other way that you can go in is just by typing in plexusworldwide.ca. So if you do it using my site, you will automatically your name will show up as the ambassador in the enrollment process. Your name will show up as the sponsor. But if you go through plexusworldwide.ca, or if you're going to do it in the US, plexusworldwide.com, then you're going to have to enter the name of the person sponsoring. Now, I'm going to be really, what is this, Stella? Why is it being goofy? There. I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you, and this is not, Krista does it differently. Other people in our team do it differently. I am not a fan of enrolling people up, getting their information ahead of time and doing it for them without them seeing the process. I feel that the enrollment process is a way of building connection and community and relationship with the person, and also trust. So I prefer to do the enrollment with the person, if at all possible on Zoom, so that they're actually watching and they're seeing exactly what they are agreeing to. They can see exactly the information that's being put into here. And I take my time and I go through it with them. So the first page is their name, their email, their phone number. Here's what I say to them about these three boxes. The first box is about getting emails. And I don't say commercial electronic messages. Most people don't know what that is. I say to them, this is emails. So I want you to, we're going to check this box off because you need to get the message that you have, that your product's been shipped. Also, at the end of this process, they're going to send you a welcome to Plexus message. So I want to make sure you get that. I want to make sure you get the email that says that they have processed your order. And then you're going to get an email that says your order has been shipped. I want to make sure you get those. So we're going to check that off. But just so you know, in your account, you can turn this off later if you want, but we're going to make sure it's on right now, and I check it off. Second one, I say to them, this one is about texting you updates. I'm going to say right now, in terms of what it is that you're wanting to get these products wholesale, and that's all you want to do right now. You don't really need this, but it can be turned on later if you want. And the third one is that you're accepting the Plexus worldwide privacy policy. You need to know that Plexus does not share your information with any other outside company other than the Paylution, which is the company responsible for sending you money if you earn any. And so we accept that, and then we go to the password. Now, this is something I do, and this is totally up to you. But I never ask people for a password. I never ask people to make up a password. The reason for that is because it can make people uncomfortable, and somebody who's older may only have, or somebody may have one password they use for everything, and now they don't want to share a private password, and I don't want to know their passwords. So I say to people, we're going to create a password here for your Plexus account only, and I'm actually going to create it. I'm going to tell you what it is because I know all the different things they need for it to work, and then we can change it later in your account. For me, with my people, I always start it with Plexus with a capital P and then their name, with a capital, whatever the first letter is of their name. And then I tell them pick 1 or 2 numbers between 0 and 9. They tell me, and then we're going to pick a symbol. Do you want a dollar sign or do you want a pound sign? And they usually always pick dollar. Or I just say to them, we're going to finish it with a dollar sign because I like that. So I create the password that I know is going to meet the criteria here. And then I tell them to write it down. And I let them know that it can be changed later on. And what I say to them is, you know what, in the first 60 days, because you have 60 days to try these products, and you can get a guaranteed money back refund if you're not happy with them, I'm going to suggest that we leave the password as it is for those first 60 days so that I can support you in looking at your account next month when you decide, because I'm going to be in touch with you in about 3 weeks, and we're going to talk about whether or not you want to continue with the same products. That way I can go into the account with you and we can decide, what do you want? Is there anything you want to add or remove or change? So I just say to them, so I would prefer if you would leave that password untouched for the first 60 days. After that, we can change it once you know how to do all of those things yourself. So I'm already letting them know about next month, we're going to be talking about their next order. Okay, and then if you're in the, if you're using your own website, this screen here will populate with your information. Otherwise, you can put in your phone number and then it takes you to the next page. Now, we can't go to the next pages without actually enrolling somebody, but I'll walk you through them. Okay, any questions about that? Any comments about that? Is there anything you guys are doing differently that you want to share with others?
Anything I'm doing differently? I like what you're doing better.
I'm creating the enrollment to be an experience. So everything is an experience. Leading up to the enrollment is an experience, and the enrollment itself can be a really awesome experience for building trust and connection and relationship, because it's not about how many you can enroll, how fast. It's about people who are going to stay with you for the next 10 years and beyond. We will be dead and gone in the grave, and we will have a legacy business that our children will inherit. And actually, I haven't even talked to you about that, Donna, that your Plexus account is something you can will to somebody. And it's willable. And we have a friend, Natalie, here in Canada, that her husband passed away and they had set that up. And he was already an Emerald ambassador. And so, I think he was maybe Senior Ruby when he passed away. But anyway, she inherited. So she was already building her own, but then she inherited her husband's business as well. So we're doing this enrollment is potentially life-changing for people, financially changing for them. They don't know it, but we know it. So we're treating this as an event and an experience, and a wonderful experience for them that is going to see people through for years and years and years to come. So the second page of the enrollment is the welcome pack, choosing the welcome pack. You guys know about that. You select your welcome pack. Then it goes to the third page. The third page is the annual membership. So I stop there and I explain that it says here $9.95, and that's because of this discount that's happening during the pandemic. Otherwise, it would be $39.95 or $54. So it's got it here. This is for a whole year. You have an entire year to use any product out of that catalog that I sent you, for an entire year. And at any time, if any new product that you were to try, if you felt that it wasn't right for you, you can return it within 60 days. So that 60-day guarantee is for a whole year. And this membership for $9.95 is for a whole year. So I mentioned that. Next year, when it's time to renew, it's going to go back to the regular price unless something is happening and they do something, but otherwise the renewal rate's going to go back to what it normally is. And just so you know, at any time in your account, you can turn that off so that it does not automatically renew. I tell them that. So there are no surprises. That's something you have total control over. So you can turn that off. If you decide next year you do not want your membership to renew, you can turn that off. The next page is the subscription page. So again, I talk about the subscriptions. So this page here is explaining that you are going to receive another package exactly like what you're getting this month. Because you have 2 months to be on the products, you're going to get another product shipped to you on the same day next month. I want to tell you right now, don't panic. This is not an auto ship system. This is a subscription, and we can turn it off. And we can turn it off right now in this call. I'm going to suggest to you we leave it on for next month, because now that you've become a member, the company has given you 250 perk points. And next month, if you decide you want to stay on the products, you're going to receive another 100 perk points, and that makes 350 perk points, which means you now have enough for a free product from the company. We can turn this off at any time. We can do it today. We can do it in 3 weeks. We can do it in 3 months. I'm just going to suggest that you trust me when I say it's worth keeping it on for next month so that you can get that free product. And I will show you exactly where to go so that you can turn it off. As a matter of fact, we have a training that we did that shows you exactly how to go into your account and to manage all of this yourself. So are you okay if we leave this on? Okay, if they say, no, I do not want any kind of a shipment, I don't want to do any of that, I did that in another company, no problem. So there is right there on that page a place where you can turn that subscription off. Okay, there seems to be a belief, and I own this, that this has been happening on our team. There seems to be a belief that people have to have a subscription to qualify to get paid. That is absolutely not true. The only benefit, 2 benefits to having a subscription on, one is perk points. Getting perk points so that you can get free product, which is an amazing thing. And the other one is that for people who are building a business, it's an advantage to us to have people in our organization who are getting a subscription, because that generates pay points for us. But for them, they do not have to have a subscription on. You guys do not have to have a subscription on, and you will still earn all your commissions. You will get paid everything you have earned. The only thing you will not get is perk points.
You still have to have your 100 PV.
You still have to have 100 PV. That's the one thing that needs to happen on your account every month, is 100 PV needs to go through, whether it's your own products you order, whether it's customers who are ordering through your account. There needs to be 100 PV that goes through somewhere in that calendar month, and that's all that's needed to qualify you. That is what makes us stand out from other companies. That's what makes us different from other companies, is that we do not have to have that subscription on. But if they do, they're going to get free product. Why wouldn't they want the free product? Because they're afraid that every month, without having any control, that product's going to show up at their door and money's going to come off their credit card. And that is exactly what is going to happen to them. And it will be a negative experience for them unless we, as their sponsors, make sure that doesn't happen. So the way to make sure that doesn't happen is we're going to put in our calendars. First of all, your new people, you're going to be talking to them every couple of days and checking in, but you're going to put on your calendar in about 3 weeks and a few days, you're going to put a note on your calendar to make sure you get a hold of them. And you're going to ask them, do you want to continue on for another month? If they say yes, do you want to continue on the same products? If they say yes, then we're good to go. So we're going to make sure this order is set up. Is it okay for you for it to go on the 12th, the 13th? Do you want to push it forward a bit to make sure it's on time? You're going to help them do that subscription because you have their password. You're going to do it with them. And then there you go. Okay. Then the next month, you're going to check in with them again. And now it's the time to talk to them about, okay, do you feel like you're going to want to stay on this for 6 months? If so, do you want to just keep the subscription going? Also, we can cash in your perk points now. So that's a whole other conversation to have in 2 months. So can you see that the time spent, it takes longer to do this than to just ask people for their information and to just set it up for them. But can you see how it builds? It's building trust and relationship, and it's getting rid of past experiences. Okay. The next page after that is their personal information about their birth date and their SIN number. Okay, their social insurance number or their security number in the States. So for me, it's really important that people see this and what's going on here, because you are asking them for personal information. I've heard all kinds of different varieties as to why it is we're asking for their social insurance number. I actually have contacted Ken Reed, who's the general manager of Plexus Canada, and I'm going to speak to him directly, and I'm going to get it right from his mouth as to why it is that we are asking people for their social insurance number. They've already agreed, they already know there's a privacy policy in place, so that information is not being shared. But many people will ask, why do you need my social insurance number? Okay, so what I tell people is that, well, because you are potentially, if you do end up talking to people about the product and you do end up making income, then the Canadian government wants you to know that, you know, if you're making income, you're going to need to pay taxes on that income. It's up to you to declare that income, and they are not going to come, they're not, this information is not being shared with them, and they are not going to issue you any kind of a tax statement. But it is up to you to know that if you're making income, then this is a business and you're generating income and you need to declare that income. That's what I tell people. Now, I've heard from somebody else that in fact, they only stuck it on the Canadian one because in the US it's supposed to be, so they put it on the Canadian one, and in Canada that it actually isn't essential to be there, and that we can fill in any number we want. So meaning they don't have to give us a social insurance number. You could put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because Plexus has it there, not for income tax purposes, but for business purposes, and I don't know what that means. So I'm going to talk to Ken Reed and I'm going to find out, and I will get back to you guys and I'll let you know. I would love to see it not on there, but I do understand that if it's by law that any business account needs to show it, then that's what we're going to tell people. Okay. Then it goes to their address. Then it goes to their payments page. When you get to the payment page, after you fill in their credit card information, there's a little tiny box below that says, is the billing address the same as their home address, and the billing address of the credit card, is it the same? You make sure you check off that box or it won't let you go any further. And now in the new enrollment process, the CVV number on the back has to be entered twice. So you enter it, and then you go to the next page, and then the little box is empty again, and they've actually created it that way as a verification. So you do have to enter it twice. So when they give me that 3-digit number, I do usually write it down so that I remember to put it in, or you just ask them to give it to you. And then it's going to go to the final page, which is the place your order, verify the order. It will show you the $9.95 membership kit. It'll show you what they ordered, and then it says place and enroll. Okay, so questions, comments? Sally, what do you want to say?
When I do it and enroll somebody, which I will be doing in about the next half hour, I screen share opposite. So I have them screen share with me, and I have them fill out all that information. I'll ask them what that 3-digit number is, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an excellent point. Thank you. So that is my ideal scenario. My ideal scenario is myself, and if it's somebody I'm enrolling, that they're on their screen and I get them to screen share if they're familiar with Zoom and if they can do it on a laptop. If they're on a phone, I don't do that because it's just too challenging to maneuver for me on a telephone app or an iPad. But yes, that's the ideal scenario, that they are actually doing the typing. We're on screen share and then I'm talking through it, but they're actually filling in all of their own information. I love doing that. So thank you for that, Sally. Yes, Brenda?
I know this is silly. I wish there was a dummy account we could practice on, you know?
Yes.
Is there a way you could suggest that to Ken?
Yes, I will ask about that. I
Because
don't know.
that's where, if I don't see it, you know,
Yeah.
I'm one of these people that need hands-on, honestly.
Yes.
So I don't see it, then I get all flustered.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. And I did ask Krista today if there was such a thing. There used to be a little video in the back office. It's not there anymore because they've changed the subscription process recently to make it easier, which it is much easier. So there isn't a video yet that guides us through it. But I did say to Stella this morning when I was doing it with Kathy and Donna, I wish I had just taken a screen share of the blank page before putting in information, because that would be another way to do it. So yeah, it's a great point. I would love to have that as well. Would make it a lot easier. Okay, anyone else? Questions or comments?
Monique, it's Brenda. Is it possible for you, because this is incredibly good information, but there's a lot of it. Can you put the point form in an email to us? I know it's a lot to ask of you, but then it's there.
Well, I'm recording it, so what you could do is listen to it and then write down your points that you that you want to take from it.
Okay, fair enough.
How was that for getting out of it?
Very slick. I'll put it in my words.
Oh, that's exactly, yes, for sure. You want to do that.
I'll transcribe it into my words.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to emphasize that the enrollment process, please look at it as an experience that they are having of Plexus and of us when we're doing that enrollment process, as opposed to it like, let's get them enrolled. It's like, let's take the time and make it an experience. And if it was my choice, Donna and I would have done it in the evening with a glass of wine, right, Donna?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd like to share.
Yes.
So for those people that don't have the computer, and so they've asked me to do the sign in for them, which is great. However, what I've done to make that experience true for them is I'll screenshot each section so that I'll say, okay, you're agreeing to these terms. I'm going to take a screenshot of it so you can see it. And then when your account's up, we're going to go and review it. I take a screenshot, especially of the congratulations, because they don't get to have that experience when you're doing the enrollment for them, especially if they don't have Zoom. And like yesterday, I had to do it just over the phone because Zoom was a real problem for them. So it just was something I wanted them to have that experience. So I screenshot it and then just emailed it off to them and say, congrats, you're enrolled as an associate, and we'll be in touch and blah, blah, blah. But I just want to share that too.
Yes, thank you. And if you don't know how to do screenshots and save and all that stuff, you take your phone and you go like this, okay? And then you now have the picture. I just took the picture of the screen. It's nice and clear. And you can just send them the picture. So if you don't know how to do screen share, that's another way, is just take the pictures of each screen and tell them, I'm going to send you 4 or 5 pictures after, so you have a record of this. And, like Stella says, they get to see the little fun congratulations page. The last thing I want to mention is yes, Jacqueline.
For people who want to make notes of this whole process, have something written at the next, whoever does the next enrollment, well, not whoever, but one of us does an enrollment, is to take a screenshot of the blank page before we start for each blank page, and then you could add notes to it and circles and arrows and stuff like that for people who like to do that kind of stuff.
Yes, and
Get it done and send it to the rest of us.
Yeah.
It's very possible that, and very likely that all of this is in the new Ambassador Plexus Academy on how to enroll somebody. There are many videos. Actually, Krista sent me one this morning that's done by an American ambassador of how to enroll. So, a lot of this has been done. The advantage I feel when we do it for our own team is that we can make it the experience that we want it to be in the culture of our own team. And I would like it to be a really pleasant experience for people when we bring them in. Also, just remember at the end of the enrollment process, you are actually in their account. So you have to remember to please log them out. Make sure that you show them, hey, this is your account. See how your initials are in the little circle. So I'm just going to sign us out now so that they know, that you're no longer in their account. And it's also really good for you. Let me tell you what happened. I did one once. I did not log the person out. His name, first name and last name started with an MM, which is the same as mine. And this was before I put my picture in. So I didn't log him out. And then later I came back, went into my virtual office, and it was empty. I had no pay points. I had no PV. I was like, what happened? And I contacted Krista and I said, oh my God, my entire back office, my downline, everything is gone. I wasn't in my account. I was in this Michael guy's account who had an M last name. So now I always remember to log out of their account so that you're not staying in their account. The other thing I tell them now is then in that call, I also say to them, okay, so now the next thing that's going to happen, if they're in the US, you guys need to know they do get an email right away that offers them the app, the Engage app. That's the first email they get, is that Engage app. So for those of, for anybody in the US, just tell them, you know, yes, if it's free, it would be good for them to get it. Kathy doesn't want a business or anything, but Donna told her you can see all your back office, your virtual office, everything. You can see everything right there through that app. So they do get that email. We don't get that up here. And also I do let them know that I'm going to be sending you the video on how to get started on the products. So between now and on when you get your products, I'd like you to please watch that video, and you're going to let us know when you get your product and we'll touch base again. I do also let them know about welcoming them into the Freedom Group. If I'm on Zoom, I'll screen share, take them into the Freedom Group. They've already been in there anyway, because that's part of our process. And then I tell them we'd like to welcome new members, and I show them a picture. And when Kathy saw it today, she goes, oh, she saw Brenda Lee, the Brenda Lee that's in Bridget's group. When she saw that, she said, oh yes, but I want to wait till I get my pink drink so that I can take a picture with my pink drink, and that will be her welcome picture. So again, getting them involved in that process right away, you know, then you'll see people will comment and welcome you, and it's all part of just building that relationship, right? Okay, so please put a reminder in your calendars. I cannot stress this enough. Please put a comment, a date in your calendar and the name of the person 4 days, at least 4 to 5 days prior to their next second subscription going out. This is essential that you're going to be talking to them anyway, but that you please contact them before that next subscription goes out, and you have a chat with them and how's it going, and then you walk them through that process. Is probably, to me, one of the most important things. People don't like surprise packages showing up at their door and charges coming off their credit cards. Unless you guys do, but nobody I know does. Nobody likes that. So we want to make sure they know about that. Okay, so that's it. I'm just going to stop the recording here.